Alright guys, what we have here today is a knife vise. It is pretty impressive. This is the nicest knife vise I've ever seen in my life. I haven't used it, so there is that. I have not used it yet, but I am absolutely certain it's going to be amazing. So let me show you some of the things on it. So this is their logo. Super cool company, great guys. And I put my name on it. That is awesome. Put my name on it. This fits in a vise, just a regular bench vise like this. And then you have this that will open up to accept your knife that you're gonna hand sand or sand the handle on. Opens up really wide. Boom. Whatever size knife you got, put it in there. So that is super nice. And then you clamp it down, and I used to have a knife vise, and this is what directly put pressure on the knife on that one. Now this one puts pressure on a plate which has rubber grips it's not spinning, and so it's not gonna make marks on your blade if you put it in blade first. Now this is a hard rubber, Duro rubber. It's super nice rubber. I'll show you, this whole thing comes out. So this whole thing is just coated in rubber, super sweet, nice and thick, and gummy enough to grab, but not so gummy it's just gonna tear up, immediately. But this can be replaced, I would imagine. Probably just get this warm and then peel it off, put a new piece on. So super simple, and I think a really great idea. I think this whole thing was really well thought out. So yeah, this is awesome. So I guess I should show you guys this in an actual vise. But let me show you this real quick before I do that. So this little attachment here goes on the bottom. You just unscrew this, and normally I would probably leave it attached, but I just pulled it out of the box. So you got these little bolts that go through here, screw onto the bottom of this, like so. Alright, tighten those down. And then you have a bunch of these. Now, I've not been told exactly how to work this thing, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You have a long knife or a integral, so the bolster can drop down into this area, and then you have your blade hanging off over here, and you don't want it to bounce, and you also want some protection against like running into it or anything like that. So you have these holes with these guys right here. These are they're made out of plastic, but I think they're going to be pretty solid. I'm sure you could get a metal version of this, but they go through these threaded holes right here, like so, that, and then like this. Okay, so wherever you want to put these, there's so many holes to be able to support whatever blade you have, and then you have these little rubber caps to be able to, so that you can do this without scratching up your blade. Even with plastic, you might scratch a finish, so it's just good to have that rubber cap on there. And it comes with a ton of these plastic ones. They sent a bunch of those plastic pieces, plastic screws for the supports. Alright y'all, so this is how this works. It sits in a regular bench vise like this. I'm going to explain this here because it's really loud in there. Jason's doing a class. But this little lever here is super smart. So they put this lever on here, and you crank that down and you can't turn it. The whole idea here is that you can turn this in any orientation you need it. So let's see. So you can turn it all the way upside down. You can turn it 360 degrees, and then, you know, whichever orientation, maybe it's sideways, however you want it. All you have to do is, probably want to do it this way, and then lock it down, and then it can't turn. That is genius, if you ask me. I think that's one of the coolest parts of this, is this, just the ease of use this is gonna have because of this handle right here, because of this lockdown. That's gonna be so quick. It's gonna make hand sanding so fast. So, needless to say, I'm super excited to be putting this thing to use. I'm gonna go show you guys just a little video of how it fits in the vise, my first impressions on just how it does. So, here we go. I'm gonna head into the other room. Sorry if it's a little loud. There are people working in there. All right, so this is how this fits in here. It's not going anywhere. That's super nice. You could also turn this way and that, which makes it really handy if you want to angle it down a little bit. That's super nice. Sometimes if you want to spray water on the blade, it's going to make it a lot easier. It'll run towards you instead of back into the vise and make your vise all nasty. I've got this knife right here. So this is just a knife I just forged the other day. So I'm going to lift this up, just show you guys how this works. Clamp that down. That will push up against my blade and keep it rigid. Alright, so this is the vise, and without any supports, this knife will bounce a little bit. As you can see, it'll bounce just a tiny bit when you're hand sanding. So you take this little guy right here with that little rubber cap at the end of the blade. It even pushes it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like that.
Alright, so this little device here will push up against the top of that blade, and it's not going to bounce at all. So that's going to give you really good support, and this rest right here is going to be out of your way, so you don't want that in your way when you're hand sanding. So that's super nice. I love that they added this this extra support right here. It's super smart. The whole thing is just really well engineered. I'm really happy with it. So this is what I was talking about before. All you have to do to turn it, lift that, turn it, lock it back down, and it's locked in. You can loosen it up if it's a little bit too tight, so you can turn it more. It's got this Duro rubber on the inside here too, so it makes it kind of sticky. But I think on the whole, that's to give it grip while it's while it is trying to tighten it down. That gives it good grip on the inside. Really nice. I love it. Some good engineering went into making this thing. So, some of the best, one of the best knife vices I've ever seen. in conclusion, guys, this is the coolest knife vise I've ever used or seen. I'm excited to put it to a lot of work and use the crap out of it. I really like how they've packaged this whole thing. They sent it in this Pelican case. They gave me some oil just for free, just to put on my blades and stuff like that. They made sure that I had the extra support for blades and stuff like that to support the blade so it doesn't bounce, which is really important when you're doing kitchen knives and things like that. I really love the engineering that went into this vise. The quick lockdown, turning it in every single direction and then quickly locking it down, that's a great idea. The big knobs on the top make it really easy to lock it down tightly. The thick hard rubber is genius. I really love that it just fits in any vise. That's a great idea. Just being able to take it with you anywhere and work on a knife at anybody else's shop with your vise, that's invaluable right there, because I don't know how many times I've been at other people's shops and been completely lost with how to finish something because they don't have adequate tools or just tools that I'm used to. And so this is a great idea. You can't lock it down to your workbench, so you'll need a bench vise, and I suggest getting a bench vise with some sort of rotation on that bench vise and rotation on the actual grips, the vise grips. That way you can move it in literally any orientation you need that blade to be in. You can move it there. So that's what I suggest. Get one of those if you don't already have it. Most of you probably will already have that, and this will be a great addition to it. It's $400 I think on the website, and I think they're giving free shipping right now. $400, but you get the best vise I think that's out there for knife making that I've seen. And it's very well packaged, very secure, and you get to keep this, which means you can take this anywhere. It has their little logo on it. That's a great idea. They put my logo on this, which is really cool, and I'm just excited to put it to work. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Get yourself one of these. I highly suggest getting this. I'm excited to I just want to go use it. I just want to use it right now. See y'all later. Oh, by the way, I've also listed all the links in the description below, so make sure you hit the links in the description below to go straight to their website, grab you one right now. Like this video, comment, subscribe. See ya.